Welcome to lesson 13. Go ahead and complete the first page of your math menu. Because you could have come up with several different equivalent fractions for 2/9 than me, I'm not going to complete this appetizer, but I'll just check it when you get this math menu turned in. So let's go ahead and move on with our main dish. Today we're going to continue adding and subtracting fractions, but this time there is a catch. Looking at 14/9 minus 1/3, we cannot subtract these fractions as they are right now. Remember, we do add or subtract the numerator, but we're not supposed to add or subtract the denominator. The parts are supposed to stay the same. So if they're different, we can't do the operation. So instead, we have to create common denominators. Just like we've done in the past when we are comparing fractions, we've got to do the same thing when we're adding and subtracting fractions as well. So looking at 14/9 and 1/3, can I multiply one of these denominators to equal the other one? Yeah, I can multiply 3. I can multiply 3 times 3, whatever I do to the bottom, got to do to the top. So my equivalent fraction for 1/3 is 3/9. I can now do 14/9 minus 3/9. That's going to be 11/9. In our directions above, it does want us to use a number bond to decompose the sum or difference and to record our number as a mixed number. So I'm going to pull out a whole, leaving 2/9 left over. So my mixed number is going to be 1 and 2/9. This time we're adding, but again, we're running into that problem of I can't add these fractions with different denominators. I've got to change one of them to equal the other one. So I can multiply my 6 times 2, and whatever I do to the bottom, I've got to do to the top. So my new equivalent fraction is 8/12. I'm going to add on 10/12. Now they have common denominators, so I can do this problem. I'm going to get 18/12, and now it's time to decompose. Pull out your whole, leaving this fraction left over. So we've got a whole and 6/12. Go ahead and try these next two on your own. Go ahead and check with me, and let's move on to our main dish part 2. We are just practicing the exact same thing. We'll do the first one together, and I'll give you a chance to do the bottom one on your own, and then you can get going with your dessert. So again, I can't do 5/2 minus 1/6 because they don't have common denominators. So I can multiply this 2 times 3 to have a common denominator of 6. So whatever I do to the bottom, I've got to do to the top. So I can do 15/6 minus 1/6. Directions still tell me to pull out our, to make a number bond to make our final answer a mixed number. So I'm going to pull out 6/6, which is going to leave 8/6 left over. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. 1 and 8/6 isn't a mixed number. Because what's wrong with this 8/6 fraction? It's still improper. So I'm not ready to write my mixed number just yet. I'm going to decompose this 8/6 again and pull out another whole. And I got to keep doing that until I don't get left with an improper fraction. So this time, this is why I like to circle anytime I create a whole. Now I go back, I say I have 2 wholes and then 2/6 left over. So 2 and 2/6 is my final answer. Go ahead and do this next problem on your own. Alrighty, you should be good to move on to your dessert.